Happy Friday, everyone. Beautiful Friday day. This weather in Arizona is just absolutely so awesome. Love it. So, it's Friday. I've just got a short message I want to share with you that I have been thinking about. And while I'm sharing it, I'm going to ask a question to the audience and unmute just for a few moments to see if anyone can give me feedback on this principle. And I think it's definitely an interesting principle and lesson just to go over really quick on a beautiful Friday. So the story goes, there's a gentleman walking through an elephant camp. And as he's walking through this elephant camp, he notices something super interesting that he is just very perplexed by and just amazed by, right? He noticed that these elephants standing around in this camp, obviously these elephants are captured and they're in captivity, and they're not being held in cages. They are these huge, absolutely huge, ginormous elephants that are being held hostage and in captivity by a small rope tied around their ankles that is tied to a stake that is in the ground. And that's what holds these elephants in place. And, you know, obviously these huge elephants could pull that stake right out of the ground. They could break that rope and they could take off in 2 seconds. And, you know, if they just used their own strength or knew what they were capable of doing to use their own strength, right? So this gentleman went over, found the trainer and asked the trainer. And the trainer goes to explain that basically these elephants, when they're first born, this is a trait that they do. They tie up these elephants with these ropes around their ankles as small little baby elephants and stake them to the ground. And obviously when they're babies, they're going to be a little bit more brave and try to get out of it, and they can't. So they at a young age, have already been imprinted on their brain that they physically cannot do anything. So they grow old in captivity with these ropes and stakes to the ground. So this is the important part of all of this, is they adopted the belief that they couldn't escape, right? They adopted the belief that they couldn't escape. So I want to go back to that. But obviously, the moral of the story is, you know, no matter how much the world tries to hold you back from your achievements and what you're trying to accomplish, you know, you always have to continue with the belief that you want to achieve and what you want to achieve is possible, and that you can achieve it with your own hard work. And believing in yourself is the most important step to achieving that goal. So, you know, obviously these big elephants, even if they tried to break the rope or pull the stake out, they could have had failure, but they didn't even try. And that's one thing we need to notice, is that failure is part of this learning process, right? We should never give up on that struggle or that failure, because that is actually the key to our success, is so that we try our best the next time in achieving what we want instead of giving up. So my question to myself and to you is, what belief have you adopted young in your age or while you were young that you couldn't achieve? And let me give you one of my examples, just off the top of my head. So the question is, what belief have you adopted in your life that you couldn't achieve? So my dad is one of my favorite people in the world. He's my business partner in the restaurant. So fun to hang out with. But as a kid, I told myself that I wanted, and I told him that I wanted to be an NFL football player. And he told me that I may as well be struck by lightning, that it's basically not possible. And so he is a realist, right? He knows that obtaining that dream is basically impossible. But so if my kids have ever walked up to me and told me a dream of becoming a professional sports player, what do you think I'm going to say to them? Absolutely. You can do it. If you want it, you can go get it, right? Rather than telling them it's probably not going to happen. It's next to impossible. So that was a belief I adopted early in my age, that I just wasn't going to be a professional football player, because I was told that it's basically impossible to accomplish. So now that being said, that's not an excuse for me not becoming a football player, but it's just something that came to my mind. So, is there anything in your life that you have adopted a belief for that you can't currently escape? I love the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, giving examples of a rich dad and a poor dad, and by Robert Kiyosaki. Definitely suggest that one. Those are some beliefs, from a poor dad that were adopted, and that you got to kind of kick out of your life. So I appreciate each one of you guys. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday and a really, really good weekend. And I'll be looking forward to talking to you again on Monday. Take care. Bye.